people dancing in slow motion, blurry eyes.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Today I have very fun news to share with you all. I mentioned this in my Amazon fashion video, but Haul Week just kind of got the better of me and I wasn't able to sit down and finally do a video about it. But in case you missed it, my family opened an independent bookstore in my hometown. We've been open for about a month now and it has just been amazing. So I really wanted to show you all around and just talk you through everything. So I thought today we could have a little catch-up cozy day together after the madness of Haul Week last week and my actual job, which is that I work for a local Dallas magazine. We shipped our weddings magazine last week, and so it was just a crazy week. But now that everything is a little bit more settled, I wanted to talk to you all about the bookstore. So I'm definitely going to go to the store later and give you all the grand tour. I have a couple things that I want to work on today, but yes, we opened a bookstore. So the bookstore's name is Nadine West Book Company. My mom called me earlier in this year and was like, I want to open a bookstore. And I was like, that's amazing, but that was just very out of the ordinary for her. She is a pediatrician, she still works full-time, and I was like, how in the world are you gonna have time to open a bookstore? Of course I was excited about it, but I just didn't really take her that seriously. I thought maybe this was gonna be like a retirement thing. She just kept talking about it, and then she started coming up with names, and then she started sending me building listings, and I was like, okay, wait, she is actually serious about this, and this is really exciting. So once I figured out that she was serious about opening the store, I was just like, I want to be majorly involved in this. I love to read. I don't share a ton of my love for reading on YouTube other than just like talking about book club, books that I like to read, which is kind of funny because the very first video I ever posted was a mid-year book tag, but reading has just been part of my life since I was little. I always loved to read. My mom always jokes that sometimes my punishment would be that I would get my book taken away because that's how much I loved it. There's this really funny picture of me holding my little brother when he was born, and I have him on one arm, not paying attention to him whatsoever because I'm reading my book, and that was just classic little Lydia, loving to read. Book fair at school was the most exciting time for me, and I've just always loved reading. I was definitely that little kid that grew up just loving books, loving the escapism, even if I didn't realize it at the time, that books bring you. And I would say that stayed true throughout my whole life. Definitely later into high school and early into college, I kind of lost that a little bit. I would still read, but it would mostly be on vacation, at the beach. Really, I wasn't reading like every day like I used to. And then I just have this moment so vivid in my brain. It was my junior year of college. I was living in my sorority house, and I don't know what I came across, if it was something on Instagram or if I just saw a book that I wanted to read, and I was just like, I have no time to do this. And then I was like, but wait, I watch Netflix or a show every night before I go to bed. So why would I not just like cut that in half and try to read for that amount of time? So it's like, if I watch 2 episodes of a show before I go to bed, what if I just watch one and I spend that other hour reading before I go to bed? And I don't know why that was such a grand idea for me, but I was just like, okay, yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna actually get back into my love for reading. And I did, and it's been that way ever since. Now I read every single night before I go to bed, and that was just kind of the reinvigorating of my love for reading. So needless to say, reading is a big part of my life, and my love for books has always been a big part of my personality. And my mom is the same way, and her mom is the same way, and her mom is the same way, and that's where the name Nadine West Book Company came to be. So Miss Nadine West is my great-grandmother, my mom's maternal grandmother, and she was the biggest reader. She's still with us. She's 97, and she had a couple strokes, and so she can't really read anymore, but that is the one thing that I remember the most about her. Going to visit her when I was younger, she always had a book going. The house that she lived in with my great-grandfather was full of books. She really, really loved romance books. We always joked that we had to have a really good smutty romance section in the store because that was just her thing. I'm talking like Fabio on the cover, oiled up chest, long flowing hair. That was her kind of book. She really did pass that love of reading down to all of us. My mom always talks about going to her house when she was little and they would read together. Of course, that's how I felt about my grandmother too. And so that's how we decided on the name Nadine West Book Company. Once we had that down and mom found the building, we really started heavily on the renovations and the design of the store. I really wanted to be a part of that, and thankfully my mom allowed me to be. I just have always loved that kind of thing, and I just had a vision in my mind of how the store was going to look, and it really did come to life. So the building started completely gutted, and we had to just make the decision starting from scratch with everything. Actually, one of the first things that we decided on were the chandeliers that went into the store, and they were these 3 gorgeous chandeliers that my dad actually found on Facebook Marketplace from an old bank that was closing down. When I went to Hilton Head this summer, my parents drove from Kentucky, which is where I'm from, where the bookstore is. They drove to Hilton Head, and on the way back they stopped and picked up the chandeliers. And so I feel like that was a turning point into like, we are doing this and we are doing this quickly. It was a very, very quick turnaround, and I think it came at the right time. I think we were all ready to do it and had time to work on it. The building was at that point where it could be renovated and decisions were being made, and we got in at a right time to do that. And so things just went full steam ahead from there. One of the biggest things that we worked on were the bookshelves, and I had a vision for the bookshelves that I had seen on Pinterest that I believe it comes from a Boston bookstore, and I'll put a picture, but this is the picture that I saw on Pinterest, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want our bookstore to feel like, where it's still so nice and fancy but so inviting. On one side of the store we have our full bookshelves, and on the other side we have our bookshelves with that little ledge and cabinets underneath, and that has proven to be very beneficial for storage solutions, and I'm really, really happy we decided to go with those kind of shelves. And then of course we started buying furniture and decor. That was honestly one of the hardest parts for me, doing it not being here and not seeing it in person, because obviously I live in Dallas and I was ordering all these things online, just praying that they came in and they were okay. And I would say for the most part, we actually did a really, really good job about picking quality pieces that all really worked well together. We had a couple of things that we had to send back because they didn't turn out as nice as we were wanting, but I just think we had the best luck with that. The couch I bought and the chairs I bought and the rugs all just worked so, so well together. And I am not going to say that that was, you know, the grand vision. It was the vision, but I think we got very lucky with what we ordered online coming in and looking nice together. One of the most fun parts of getting the store ready was selecting the books. Basically how we did it was that we got a list from our wholesale publisher that really gave a selection of new releases, popular books, books that sell really well, and I kid you not, I went through every single book on that list. Our first order was like 2,000 or 3,000 books, and I went through every single title. If I didn't know it, I googled it. I added titles to the list. I changed quantities. I took things off. I added things on with my mom's help, of course, but that was something that I was so passionate about because I do consume so much book content online that I just have always had such a backstock of titles in my brain that even if I haven't read them, I will have probably have heard of them, and if I didn't, I was very happy to look them up. And that took me about 2 or 3 weeks to get through that entire list completely, and it was truly such a process, but it was so much fun. That was one of the most fulfilling parts of starting the store, was seeing all those books that we picked out come in. Like when we had those books delivered to the bookstore, it was like Christmas morning. My mom and I could not believe that all those like physical books were ours and that we were gonna get to sell to people. Shelving was such a big process. Our very first time, all those books came in at once. We had 3,000 books on hand for a pretty small store, and we had to sort through each and every one. We had to categorize them, we had to alphabetize them, and it was a process. But again, it was just so fulfilling seeing it all come to life. So our very first day open to the public was October 16th, and then we had our soft opening for friends and family on October 15th, and it was amazing. I don't think we were hoping for a good response, but we were just absolutely blown away by the amount of people who came and were excited. The soft opening party was honestly, I think, something that we'll remember forever, because my great-grandmother, Miss Nadine West herself, was able to come, and she just had the absolute best time, and it was so special to have her there. She's had a hard time of it after her strokes, and you never really know how she's going to be doing that day, but she just had an amazing time. She was in her wheelchair just rolling about. She obviously couldn't fully grasp that this was for her, but she just knew that all the people that she loved were in the same place, and in a place that was filled with her favorite things, which is books. She would roll her wheelchair up to the shelf and take a book off and put it back on. We joke that she went over to the romance section, because of course she did, and I swear she rearranged that entire shelf while she was over there, because she would pick books up and just put them back like nobody's business. So many people came out to support us, and it was just such a fun night. And then of course opening day, I was at the bookstore all day working it with mom and dad, and we just had such an amazing day. We got to do our ribbon cutting with the mayor, and it was just all those little small town things that I forgot people did. And you know, we had the city council there, and the mayor was shaking my dad's hand, and I don't know, it just felt very wholesome and like a Hallmark movie, and we had such an amazing turnout. I mean, the store was bumping all day long, and it really has been ever since. That's one thing that I think we didn't fully expect but hoped for, that, you know, obviously people were going to be excited about something new coming to town, but was that excitement going to last? And a month in, we're still as busy as we were the first week. Maybe not the first day, because that was insane, but we're still doing so well. People are still so excited about it. We've been doing so many fun things for Christmas. We actually got to decorate for Christmas a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, because my town does a lot of things on the square. I don't know if I mentioned that, but our store is right off of my town's square. You know, where restaurants are, where the courthouse is. It's your typical small town little gathering place, and that's where the store is. And the square always has something going on, and so we've been doing so many fun things for Christmas. It's just been amazing, and I just couldn't wait to share this with you all, because it was a very, very big deal, and it has been so much fun. There have of course been challenges. We had an issue with our wholesaler that we were not getting the books that we were promised to restock like a week into the bookstore opening, and our bookshelves were bare, which of course is a good problem to have, because it meant people were buying them, but we just were not getting our books delivered to us that we needed to restock the shelves. And so that was a major stressor, but now we're on a great schedule and we're restocking as fast as we can. We have these special little tables here and there, and we did Christmas books for one. We have an entire kids section that I think everyone has been really loving, and it's been amazing, and I just can't wait to show you all the actual store, because I'm so proud with how it turned out. And yeah, it's been so much fun. But yeah, that's what's been up with me the past month. It's been a very, very crazy month, but amazing nonetheless. And so I think let's head out, and I'm gonna take you to the store and just show you around. I can't wait to show you the inside and all of our books, and yeah, let's go. Oh, hi everyone, come on in. So this is what you see when you first walk in the door at Nadine West Book Company. It was really important to me to have a very grand entrance into the bookstore, and so we decided to do our bestseller shelf right here at the entrance, our beautiful chandelier on top of our entrance table. Flipping you around to the right of the entrance is our staff and community picks wall. So these are picks that people in town and in the community can submit to be featured on our wall, and they they will have a little tag with their name and a little bit about why they loved the book. That's one of the things we're going to be working on today. And then right behind me is our beautiful Christmas tree and the portrait of Miss Nadine West herself. This is my great grandmother who the store is named after. She absolutely loved reading, and she is just the little matriarch of our family, so we had to include her right in the entrance. Two of my favorite parts of the entrance are the small tables in our front windows that hold our seasonal books. So we have all holiday themed books on there right now, and I just love them. So the bulk of our inventory is obviously behind me in our big, beautiful bookcases. Each section is its own genre. We have all of our fiction sectioned out by romance, literary fiction, historical fiction, mystery, and fantasy. We have 3 nonfiction shelves, so 2 general nonfiction, and then we have 1 nonfiction shelf that is categorized into history and memoirs. We have our classic shelf, 2 young adult shelves, and our nearly new shelf, which is our very small collection of used books. And then tucked in its own little corner is our kids section filled with all of the cutest kids books. And that is pretty much the tour. We're a small independent bookstore, but I think the space is so beautiful. I'm so happy with how it turned out. We have just had the most amazing response, and it has been truly so much fun. And yeah, we're just so grateful that it's gone over so well, and I'm so happy to share it with you all as well. So I do actually need to do a little bit of work. I need to print out the tags for the community picks wall. We just got a whole new round of them on the shelves, so we're going to laminate those, stick them on the wall. One new thing that we've introduced is our blind date with a book. So these lay on that shelf in the back, right on the back bookshelf where that ledge is, and we sold out of them this weekend, which made me so happy. I was so wanting to do this for the store, and of course you never know how it's going to go over, but people have been absolutely loving them. A lot of people have been doing them as gifts because I was so adamant that the wrapping be beautiful as well. I just couldn't believe that we sold out of them so fast, and so I am going to wrap up a couple more of these to place out on that ledge, and those are our little tasks for today. Okay, we got this wall done. All of the books have their tags on them. This one is mine. I loved Divine Rivals, and I wanted to put that one on the wall. And then this one is mine too. I loved this book. It's about a woman in the Cold War, and then she becomes the First Lady, kind of her journey through that. So everyone has their name on their book and a little quote about why they loved them. So we had a slight change of plans. I finished that wall, and then I started working on our Christmas boxes instead of the blind date with the books. So we are doing these for Christmas, where you buy the box and you get a book, a sweatshirt, a candle, and a card, and they're going to be our little Christmas special, which I'm so excited about. We're going to wrap them up so cute with our branding and everything, and we've been trying to get those pushed out on Instagram so that people can start pre-ordering them, so that we can get all the sweatshirts ordered and books picked out and everything. People can choose if it's going to be one of our sweatshirts, or if they already have one, we have another design available as well. So I've been working on this for the time being, and it's actually a lot later than I thought it was. So I am going to take all the books I needed to wrap home and just finish those at home, because I need to go to the grocery and actually get my pickup order. So we're going to take those home and finish that up. But yeah, I'm really happy that we got this done, because I think people are going to really really enjoy these little boxes, and we've been needing to get those out on Instagram. So still productive, just not quite working on what I said we were going to. I'm back home now and changed into my comfies. I got all of my books wrapped for Blind Date with a Book, so we'll be back and fully stocked on those. I wanted to mention that I will link everything that I used down below because I got it all on Amazon. Obviously, I bought it in bulk since we're going to be using it all. I think this is such a fun idea for a Christmas present, and so if you all were interested in doing them for yourself, I'll leave everything that I do down below. I think the biggest thing is just getting the little labels made. So I just made this on Canva, and I put the main genre up top, the subgenre, and then I put a tiny little bit of a description and a quote. And I wanted to give enough of a description where you could see if you would like the book, but not obviously give the book away because it is a blind date with a book. I just think making something like this, printing it out, and then wrapping up the book beautifully is such a fun idea for a Christmas present. So for any readers in your life, I think they would really enjoy something like this. I just use these little scrapbooking sheets that I found on Amazon. They come in a set. I did a neutral set and a green set, and so I just tape that on there. I tie a bow around it. You could obviously just use normal Christmas wrapping paper, put a little Christmas bow on it, and I think that would be such a fun gift idea. But I thought it would be fun to show you some of the books that I want to read coming up. I have honestly not been reading as much as I normally do, which is so ironic that we opened a bookstore and it caused my reading to halt a little bit, but it was just so crazy the past month of getting everything ready, and I'm grateful that it was crazy, but I definitely took a little bit of a break from my reading, but now I'm so excited to get back into it because I've definitely done some shopping at the store, which is one of my favorite parts about working there, is that I get to do my own shopping right before I close up. But I wanted to show you some of the ones that I bought because I'm really excited about these, and do just a slight little bit of a TBR for the rest of the year. So I only have 5 books left to read to finish out my Goodreads goal, which was 55 books this year. I did 50 for the past 2 years, and it was actually my sister that was like, I think you can do 55 this year. You should just see if you can. And I think I will finish at least 5 books before the end of the year. I have been in a very strange cadence this year of reading. I went a couple weeks in the summer where I was reading like a book every 2 days. I was flying through books, and then I swear over the past month I've finished 1 book. So I'm grateful for that summer frenzy because it kept me on track of my Goodreads goal, and I was able to build up a little bit so I didn't totally fail this year. But I am definitely very excited to get back into it and to read some fun books for the rest of the year. I have 2 nonfiction books that I bought that I'm really excited about. So I bought The Third Gilmore Girl by Emily Gilmore, by Kelly Bishop. Kelly Bishop plays Emily Gilmore on the show Gilmore Girls, which if you don't know, she is my absolute style icon. I've tried to style a couple outfits based on her the past couple of weeks, and I actually finished this last week. So I guess this really isn't part of the TV because I already finished it, but I just wanted to talk to you all about it because I loved it so much. I am a sucker for a good memoir, and especially a memoir that is fun and exciting and like celebrates life. I say that because I'm actually in the middle of reading Lisa Marie Presley's memoir her daughter wrote for her, and it is so sad. Like, I just cannot even explain how sad that book is making me. Obviously that was just her life, so it's real, but I don't know. I'm someone who feels really deeply with that kind of thing, and I'm really affected by that, and so I just needed something fun, and I've been trying to get more into nonfiction, so I picked this one up, and it made me so happy. She just goes through her life, and obviously there are sad moments in her life. She talks about her husband passing away and all the struggles she went through to get to where she is today, but there's always like a touch of humor in it, and there's always something to look forward to on the other side, and the way that she goes through life is so inspiring to me. I just really recommend anyone to read this. If you didn't watch Gilmore Girls, you probably won't appreciate this as much as someone who did, but if you know her in any capacity, she's done so many other things. I just think you would really enjoy it. Coming from someone who loves Gilmore Girls, I really enjoyed listening to her part of the book on Gilmore Girls, and this definitely isn't just about, how many times can I say Gilmore Girls? This definitely isn't just about the show. It talks about her entire life, and it made me love her and respect her even more, so I would highly recommend that one. But the other book that I picked up from the store that I'm going to start after I finish the Lisa Marie Presley's memoir is When Women Ran Fifth Avenue, Glamour and Power at the Dawn of American Fashion by Julie Satow. I was immediately drawn in by this cover when I saw it. Obviously it's so fashionable, and I just love reading history books on fashion specifically, or just on anything glamorous, because history was a subject that I always loved in school, and I feel like this is my little bit of that I can carry throughout my adult life, is reading books like this. Next up, I finally bought the hardcover edition of The Night Circus. This was one of my absolute favorite books of last year. I always talk about this. I always recommend it to people. It was just the most magical book I think I've ever read. It is on the same level as Once Upon a Broken Heart. It's a very different story from Once Upon a Broken Heart, but it is just such an amazing story. I cannot even explain how much I love this book, and I haven't read it since last January. So it's almost been 2 years since I've read it, so I'm definitely due for a reread. And when I read it checking it out from the library, and so I had to have my own edition, and I've been waiting so I could get the hardcover because I think it's just so beautiful, and I'm itching to read this again. I also bought 2 independently published romance series. That is one amazing thing about being an independent bookstore, is that you get access to certain books that Barnes & Noble or Amazon can't, which is such a cool feature. So one of those was the Mile High series. We have had so many girls come into the store and freak out when they see this series, because I think it's been sold out on Barnes & Noble and Amazon forever, but because we're an indie bookstore, we have a little bit more of an access to these. So I just knew I had to buy them, and I have actually already read the first 2. I read Mile High and The Right Move. I did not love Mile High, but The Right Move was definitely better for me. They are majorly spicy, so just keep that in mind. But I have heard that the last 2 in the series are people's favorites, so I wanted to get through the first 2 just so I could get to the last 2. So I'll definitely be finishing this series. I have 3 more Christmas books on hold at the store that I'm gonna go pick up this week. I should have just bought them while I was there today. I'm trying to figure out if I just want to read Christmas books for the rest of the year, or if I want to read other things as well. We'll see. I'm excited to read the last 2 because it definitely was an improvement between the first and second book, so hopefully by the time we get to number 4, it's gonna be great. And I have seen people give number 4 5 stars, so that's pretty exciting. And the other series that I bought was this series by Mimi Grace. I don't know what the series is called, but it's Make a Scene and What a Match. So I actually bought this to read during the fall time, and I just never got to it because of how fall themed this cover is. So I don't know if I will get to these soon or if I'll try to save them for next fall, but I just think the covers of these are so cute. And she actually has a 3rd one in this world, but we weren't able to get that one for some reason, so I'll have to find somewhere else to buy that one. But I have zero idea what these books are about, but I loved the covers and I loved that they were indie books, so I had to grab those as well. I also picked up The Paris Gown, which is a historical fiction book. This is about a Dior gown and 3 friends who wear the gown. It's set in Paris in 1956, and so just the setting I know I'm gonna love. I am such a sucker for historical fiction, and so I just knew that this one was gonna be a fun read. It's short. I think it'll be a pretty quick read. I feel like I can get really into one genre and then get burnt out on it, and I feel like historical fiction is always what I come to when I've read too much fantasy or too much romance. I think this will be a fun little palate cleanser when I'm tired of fantasy, which I'm saying because I bought the Throne of Glass box set. And there are lots of books in this set. Absolutely determined to get through these through the winter, so I just have a feeling that I'm gonna need books to read in between this series, because if I just go straight in to however many, are there 8 books in this series, that I am going to be so burnt out on fantasy. I'm so excited to start this series. I have been saying I was going to for the longest time, but I finally just bought the box set and I am going to read it. When Christmas is over and it's just depressing winter, I will get into a new fantasy series and I'm excited about it. And then just the last 2 books are 2 of the Christmas books that I already bought, and I have 3 more that I want to buy. The Holiday Cottage and the Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan, and then Christmas with the Queen actually just released this week. The first 2 I picked up were A Winter Wish and Spectacular. So this book is the newest installment in the Caraval world. This is a holiday novella. Once Upon a Broken Heart is one of my favorite series of all time. It's the same way that I feel about The Night Circus. These authors just, they're on another level. They create these worlds and illustrations. I can't put into words how their words make me feel like I'm on another planet. It's the truest form of escapism, and I am just so excited to be back in this world. So what's really fun about this book is that it is illustrated. So it's a true little holiday story, and I could not be happier to dive into this book. I just need Stephanie Garber to keep writing books in the Caraval, Once Upon a Broken Heart world forever. And then A Winter Wish by Emily Stone. I love this author. I have read 3 books by her. Love Hallway, Always in December, and One Last Gift, I think is the other one I've read by her. That might be the only book she has, but this was her release for this year. Her books are very, very heartfelt. She will make you cry. Like, don't go into her books thinking that they're a rom-com, because they aren't. They are heartfelt, almost like dramas. Like, they're just things happen in these books that will absolutely break your heart, but she also will mend your heart by the end as well. And I am definitely someone who reads more fluffy romances like the Mile High series, but with her, it's just, her books are so special, and I was really excited to pick up her newest release. So that's been my shopping the past couple of weeks. It has been incredibly hard not to take home a copy of every single book in the store, and I have a major stack in the back of books that I am buying, and I'm slowly getting through it, but I just wanted to show you all some of the ones that I'm really excited about, because I thought we haven't done a book catch-up in a while, and I felt very on theme with this video. And I think that's gonna be all I have for you today. I am just so excited to show you the store, and I hope you all liked seeing it, and I wanted to share my big news with you because it's been very, very fun and a very exciting time for us. Very time consuming, but obviously completely worth it. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're ever in Kentucky, please come see us. I would absolutely love that. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!